Guys, what I'm about to show you is hard to watch because it's essentially internationally sanctioned domestic violence, and it makes me angry. I don't know if you can tell I'm angry. I would not want to even record a video like this because despite what radical leftists and feminists say on X or other platforms, I actually deeply care about women. It's why I do a lot of what I do, speaking the truth, to try to save as many of them as possible from the ravenous, resentful lies of feminism, which will ruin their lives. But when I see women getting hurt from men, it makes me very upset. And given the ideology that I'm trying to defeat, the ideology that I understand in higher resolution than 99.9% of the population, when that ideology is responsible also for hurting women, this video, I had to record this video, even though it made this video necessary to record, even though it's extremely brutal and frustrating to look at. So what happened yesterday has happened again. This time with a Chinese man with an XY chromosome. And I can say man because literally biologically he has an XY chromosome, and any other perspective is pseudoscience. This man's body has been marinated in testosterone since he was 12 years old. His bones have been constructed with testosterone. His muscle fibers have been constructed with testosterone. There's testosterone in his blood, and he is beating up a woman in a boxing ring on international television because the left is inclusive. What could be more inclusive and compassionate than letting a man take away an opportunity from a woman who has dedicated her entire life to a sport, sacrificed, let's be honest, everything if she's made it to the Olympics, because that's the highest level of performance, sacrificed everything to get here, only to have to fight a man who on her best day she couldn't emulate even 50% of his upper body capacity. It's a disgrace. I talk a lot about the psychological differences between men and women because that's actually something that I've studied and know a tremendous amount about, but the physical differences are hard to ignore. Let's watch this video.
Back foot.
For those you don't realize, the one in the red is the one with XY chromosomes.
She'll be to the quarterfinals.
Literally a disgrace.
Well done. From the Chinese tiger.
Could you imagine if your daughter, if your sister, if your mom dedicated their life to something and then just got beat up by a man on national TV because the radical left wanted to be inclusive enough to sanction domestic violence?
Hey.
Dude, that's so sad. That's so sad. Look at her face. She knows what happened. She knows this wasn't fair. She knows that no matter how well she performed, she couldn't have won. This is the reason we have different categories for men and women. Because if women perform on their best day and a mediocre man performs on his worst day, he's still better. And don't take my word for it. Serena Williams, the best female tennis player, debatably of all time, said that she would not be able to score a single point against a top 500 male tennis player because he would serve the ball too hard. She wouldn't be able to return it. But that's her words. That strength differential exists for all sports. It's also more than strength, by the way. It's coordination, it's reaction time, it's muscle density. But the main thing people know about is strength, so I'm saying strength. Bone density, etc.
Impressive on the front and back foot.
It's not even that her punches are missing. She misses a few punches there, but her punches just don't do any damage. Because why would they do damage? Bro, if Elon had not bought X, this wouldn't even be possible right now. On top of letting women be beat up, the left would be censoring any person that criticizes them. Biology, psychology, any field of objective study, which is actually every field of study, when you get to a coherent truth, an objective truth, meaning it's verifiable, there comes a point when it becomes untenable to the ideology of leftism in particular. And if you've been to colleges studying anything, from anthropology to psychology to even the harder sciences or even taking ethics classes, you'll know that a notion of objectivity has a limit where people will no longer care about if it's true. They'll instead say, why are you saying this true thing? Because our ideology, or they'll say, you shouldn't say this true thing because our ideology is more important than the truth. But the ideology is always the same. It's the ideology of resentment stemming from the identitarian worldview that virtue is determined by your victimhood status. That ideology is transposed Marxism from the 20th century into the 21st century. Once it became untenable and too out of fashion to support Stalin, the radical left just rebranded from economic differences to, oh my gosh, she's a woman, therefore she's oppressed, or oh my gosh, she's black, therefore she's oppressed. Oh my god, that's a masculine alpha billionaire, he must be an oppressor. If you think about it, why would an alpha masculine billionaire be an oppressor just because he's competent? It's because his competence speaks to the objective parameters of meritocracy that he had to succeed and thrive in order to get there, and all of that is untenable because it's what, again, it's an objective parameter, but it's also a reference to an objective system. And the ideology of the left completely detests notions of objectivity because they actually only want to have to adhere to their ideology. Unfortunately, reality is not made in the image of their ideology, it's made in the image of objectivity, which is the reason why things like science are realizable from nature. It's the reason why reason itself was derivable from nature 2,000 years ago from Socrates. It's the reason why logic works. It's the reason why mathematics work. The universe is ordered, and we can derive that order using our cognitive faculties. But the left is opposed to their cognitive faculties, and this is also the reason why you see, instead of debate, only slander and attacks coming from the radical left. Oh my gosh, you disagree with us? You must be, one of my favorite is, oh, you must be gay because you disagree with us. They expose not only their immorality, their aversion to truth, their aversion to objective reality, but they reveal themselves as frauds because they're actually homophobic. They can't even debate ideas. And it's because left is at war with objectivity itself. That's how they can sanction things as self-evidently egregious as this. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I appreciate all of you.